Welcome. We've had a hectic evening here and we've had an overwhelming response. We've had information on all the crimes that we featured. One or two of our appeals have frankly not been too successful. Some, there's no doubt, have produced information of really very great importance. Now let's take first the murder of the 16-year-old Nottinghamshire girl, Colette Aram. We showed how the suspect had been seen in a nearby pub.
On holiday, are you?
No, actually, I took the wrong turning off the motorway. No, actually, I've come up to visit a friend who lives in Barton.
Oh, 91p, please.
His stories proved to be false, but they do suggest a degree of local knowledge.
He works in the power station, but he's had a bit of an accident, so I was going to visit him in hospital. Thanks.
And we showed you this letter. Now, it could have been a distraction, it could have been a hoax, but it claims to have been written by the murderer. Now, we've had over 100 calls of some importance on this crime. 2 or 3 in particular have produced genuinely new leads. Police inquiries have already begun on them. The detective in charge of the case is Superintendent Bob Davey. How significant are they, do you think, what you've got so far?
Well, we've had a large response, as you know. Certain calls have given us new information, but again, it's too early yet to evaluate the exact information that we've got.
Now, I know it's very frustrating in 1 or 2 cases too, because we have got information we think may be important, but as you say, it's too early to say. Of course, there's a problem of Colette's parents who may be watching too. We don't want to give them false hopes at this stage.
Yes, one's got to bear that in mind, of course, all of the time, but nevertheless, we've had some good information tonight. It's going to take us some time to evaluate it, and we've certainly got some work out of the programme.
I gather there's some work that's going on right now.
Yes, we've already initiated certain inquiries tonight, and those inquiries are being made at this moment.
OK, well, thanks very much indeed. Our phone lines are now closing down here, but if you can help in any way on Colette's killing, please call your local police and mention Crimewatch UK. Or you can ring this number, the murder incident room at Bingham Police Station. It's 0949 382 82. 0949 38282. Now, that number's been flooded ever since we came on the air, I should warn you. If you can't get through on that, here's an alternative, 0949 39192. Bingham 39192. Please, if you can help in any way, keep calling.
Well, several people think they own the stolen property we showed you. This is unclaimed treasure that's been held by Devon and Cornwall Police, and we think now we might have traced at least some of the owners. Genuine, do you think, Detective Sergeant John Mansfield?
Yes, we've had one very interesting call from a gentleman in London who was ringing on behalf of his brother, and he was claiming this inlaid desk. In fact, when I rang the loser a few moments ago, he'd had a second call from another friend of his who was identifying it as his property as well. It was stolen in January of this year from the London area.
And that's the right time? That's the time it was stolen?
That's correct, yes.
That's terrific. And also, I believe we've had a possible claimant for the little mace there.
Yes, indeed. We've had a telephone call from a gentleman who used to live in the city of London, saying that it was possibly stolen as long ago as 1946 from a church within the city.
So a possible owner there too?
Indeed, yes.
Not bad so far. And if you think you might recognise anything else here, ring your local police or call Exmouth Police Station on 0395 264 651. That's Exmouth 264 651.
Incidentally, if you try to call us but you didn't manage to get through here to the studio, our apologies. Now, look, we've 40 lines direct through here into the studio. Even they were all jammed from time to time. We'll give you some more numbers in a moment, so if you have what might conceivably be useful information, please don't keep it to yourself. A lot of our calls were to the incident desk. 1 or 2 important ones, 1 or 2 disappointments here. What have we found out? If we can start first with the killing of Isla Karjalainen, the Finnish nurse who was killed, or she was abducted, it seems, on the A40. What have we discovered about that?
Well, again, lots of calls, as you say. I've had a man driving near the scene who's, in fact, asked the police from Woodstock to call round and see him tonight, and officers are with him now. The point here is that this programme is connected back into police stations, and we're responding to the information that's been given us.
He would have had something important to say, would he?
Yes, well, we're filtering the calls and eliminating those that perhaps are too nebulous to act on immediately and dealing with the priority ones.
Now, Isla was, as I say, hitchhiking through Oxfordshire when she was abducted. You're still looking for anybody who might have seen her. I gather one person thinks he might.
That's right. In fact, we've got one man who says he saw a girl jump out of a hedge. At the time he saw her, he didn't think anything of it. He thought that she was probably larking about. Since seeing the reconstruction, he suddenly thought about it again and thinks now that this girl was probably very distressed, and certainly tallies up with the description of Isla in the reconstruction. Again, could be a very vital witness, and he saw this girl on the Blenheim estate again, near where Isla's body was found. Remember, there's 5 miles distance between her body and where the rucksack was found. Remember that Finnish flag and the Finnish money.
That's a very, very chilling piece of information. Now, the bus, there was a bus that had been stolen. It was specially adapted for disabled people. As you said, Helen, it was one of the meanest crimes one could imagine. Any clues on that?
Yes, promising, Nick. Callers have reported sightings in England, Scotland and Northern Ireland.
Good Lord.
In fact, the officer who is leading the case, Detective Sergeant O'Connell, has already taken action on 3 of those sightings, which incidentally are in London. Local police are there now.
Good. Actually, it's not unreasonable that it might have been seen in various parts of the country. I mean, the whole point of it was that it was used for touring.
Yes,
it might
of
have been
course.
visiting many places. How optimistic are they? Are they actually going to pick up that bus, do you think?
Yes, very, thanks to the callers.
Good. One thing I must say that we haven't had a great deal of success about is in trying to find some safes. The City of London police had caught some crooks and found in their possession some photographs of safes, and here they are. Now, if you recognise them, please give us a call. Nobody thinks they've recognised them so far. This first one's a Chubb, and it's by... The only clue we've got is by these electrical sockets. Do you know, have you ever worked in a place which has had a safe like that, near sockets like this? The second one is a much bigger safe. As you can see, it's a walk-in job. The important thing here is look at the wood panelling by the side of it. Nobody so far has rung in saying they've recognised this. If you recognise it, please do let us know. Right, the other thing that we looked at was the killing, or at least, no, I shouldn't say that, the abduction of Mark Tilsley. Have we got any closer to finding out where he is and what's happened to him?
Yes, we have. We've had one man ring in who's given us a lot of very good description of what he thinks was Mark. He was seen in the right area, and he's one of 2 passing motorists. In fact, 2 men saw who they think is Mark, and they've been talking about it amongst themselves for a week, and it's the programme that's made them ring up and think, you know, it's time to call, and that's what they've done. So they'll be seen tomorrow. And in fact, there's another piece of information coming between talking to you. Very recent, somebody says they think they saw Mark at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, we don't want to build people's hopes unnecessarily, but certainly it's another possible sighting that'll be followed up.
Well, let's really hope he is all right and that we find him. The number to ring, if you can help, let's go through all of these. For the Woodstock murder inquiry, that's Thames Valley Police. Their number is 0993 811 311. That's Woodstock 811 311. Now, if you might have recognised any of the safes we showed you, call the City of London Police, please, on 01601 2222. That's easy to remember, 601 2222. And if you know anything about the bus for the disabled, the Metropolitan Police would like to hear from you, 01200 2947. Now, don't worry, if you didn't get those numbers down, you can just call your local police station, mention Crimewatch UK, and tell them what you can. Sue.
Well, now the stamp theft, possibly the biggest in the world. £250,000 worth went missing from a van in the City of London on Monday the 26th of March. Do you use this bank or cash point? And if so, do you recall seeing this blue van or anyone or any vehicle near it? Because by 2:05, the van had been opened and £250,000 worth of stamps had gone. Well, the officer in charge is Detective Chief Inspector Alan Goodman. What have we found out so far now?
Well, I'm pleased to say we've had 4 or 5 calls respecting the stamp theft. I'm cautiously optimistic in relation to 2 of them. Certainly the cards showing the postal history, somebody rang in and said they felt they recognised them. And also I have some inquiries to make as a result of calls from people who are obviously in the stamp trade, not necessarily dealers but certainly collectors, and I'm hopeful that those inquiries will produce results.
So they're promising leads. Any particular stamps that they've been recognised?
There are some, as I say, that showing the postal history, which was shown earlier, and somebody rang in about that. we are hopeful that that will lead to some inquiries being completed.
Let's hope so, thanks. And the number to call if you know anything, and remember there is a big reward in it, £24,000, it's Bishopsgate Police Station 01601 2222. That's 01601 2222. Or call your local police.
And finally, those forged car documents. This is one of them. Several of you rang up to say you didn't have a chance to get the numbers of the forgeries down. Here they are. Check your own vehicle registration document for any of these numbers, and if any of them appear on your documents, please tell your local police. Just mention Crimewatch UK.
And if you've got a second-hand car, don't forget to check that the numbers on the engine and on the chassis, somewhere underneath the bonnet, tally with the numbers in the car's logbook. If they don't, tell the police, because your car may be a stolen one and they may be able to help you get your money back. If you leave it until the computer catches you, it may be too late.
That's it, to say we are now closing our phone lines down here. Do ring your local police if there's any way that you can help. There's nothing more for us to say except thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for calling if you did. We'll be back next month. But remember, if there is any way you can help to prevent a crime, please don't wait for us. Don't wait for someone to be hurt. Tell the police. They'll be waiting for your call. Good night.
Good night.